What's going on, everybody? Mike here. We're going to do a quick teardown on a Maxwest Nitro A65. It's a little bit of a newer phone, but still, one of these budget phones. We're going to show you how to do the screen replacement or charging port replacement on this, or both at the same time, whichever one you got to do. So first thing we got to do is take off the back cover. And I do go a little bit fast. I do apologize if I go a little too fast for you guys, only because these ones are a little bit easier to take apart. We'll take the battery out. I've got these screws on this side, and on this side we want to take all the screws out. I have an electric screwdriver that I like to use. It's relatively, makes it go by a little bit faster. Try to organize my screws in kind of the same pattern of where I'm taking them out, so I can remember where they go. I hope you guys can see that okay. Still working on the camera angle to make it a little bit more visible for you. Release screws. It's very common on this phone, I should say in these phones in general, where a customer will come in and they'll say, hey, my charging port stopped, or my phone stopped charging, I need a new battery. And realistically, the battery's probably fine. What they probably need is a new charging port, because they kind of wear a little bit quickly on some of these ultra budget devices. They're also very easy to fix and very easy to use, so pluses and minuses with everything. The longest part of this probably is just taking out the screws, to be honest with you. But it looks like we only got a couple left. Hopefully you guys can still see that all right. Alright, so it looks like I got all the screws out on the side and on the top. And then what we want to do next is you want to pull this mid frame. It's the portion that's covering like the motherboard and the charging port on the side and the speaker, and the screen has its own housing, or it is its own housing and frame. So I like to use this metal spudger personally. It makes life a little bit easier for me. I try to find kind of a weak point and kind of lift up, like right there. Just kind of do this a little bit lightly so you don't break anything. I'm a little bit more rough with the phones because usually I'm disassembling them for parts anyways. I did forget a screw though. See, a little bit harder to do this on camera. Alright, I should kind of pop off a little bit easier. I don't know, I got stuck a little bit. So I'll pop off the top first. Did I forget another screw? I did forget another screw. See? Nobody even warned me about it. Alright. Take the whole bit with it. Alright. Put this back in. Should start coming off relatively easily now. There we go. So that pops off. Oops. You have your motherboard showing right here, and then you have a couple screws still on the motherboard holding it in place. You got one right there and one right there. But let's take off the bottom piece where the charging port's being held. Sometimes on these models, the loudspeaker is actually connected to the charging port. So on this portion, you do kind of want to take your time. Sorry, I'm just trying to see where I want to pry this up. You don't want to do it too hard. You don't want to mess anything up. And see, we got a screw here too. Look at that, it's right there. Nobody told me. Three screws up there, that's a lot. So this one is not, just a little cover for the speaker. But these, when you're taking this out, these little wires here are very, very fragile and finicky, and they tend to break very easily. Sometimes it's even best to throw a little heat on it just to make it come off a little bit easier. Just not too much, you guys don't want to overdo it. But let me grab these screws out real quick for the motherboard. 1. Keep them in a little separate pile. It's 2. Alright. So then you want to disconnect the ribbon connector that connects the, gives you the display to the motherboard. And then you can disconnect the camera if you wish. That's the front camera right there. Looks like the ear speaker is wired, so that's got to come off with the board. So you kind of want to find a weak spot on the speaker and kind of give it a little bit of a lift. That way it's not too hard though, so it comes right off when you pull the motherboard off. So we got the camera, that. And you have this coax running down. I want to pry this off gently so you don't break. A lot of times these connectors can break if you go a little too hard. And pull this board up. So the board comes out. The board is out right here. The rest of the phone, the only thing you have left is, depending on what kind of replacement you're doing, if your screen replacement came with the power volume flex, it should be already still attached. If not, you can gently pry this up this way and then take this portion off. Don't like the tool that I have in my hand currently for that, only because it's just not the best. Get the camera out. And a lot of people like to use a plastic one. I'm just so used to the metal one that it's my cup of tea, you know. Then we'll go down to the charging port, and we want to lift this up first. This connector to the charging port, the ribbon connector. We'll lift up the coax. This is your microphone. This one you can just gently pry up or just wait. And then you have the speaker. So before we start lifting this up, I definitely want to get the speaker first. You want to gently lift that up. So there's your speaker, not scratch, it's all good. Then you have the vibration motor. Probably even use one of these little mini flatheads to just get in and give it a tiny little push. And just take it all in one piece. You're gonna use your finger to feel it out. After that, you can start going in here. You guys can see that okay? And start giving it a tiny little bit of lift. Make sure there's no screws in there. Okay. Kind of gently want to work it. Then this last piece, which is your microphone, I just kind of slowly wiggle it out. And boom, there it is. There's your charger port. All good in one piece, everything's connected. And now we can either replace the charger port, put it back in, put the board back in. These are relatively pretty simple to take apart. And that is how you do pretty much a screen replacement and a charger port replacement on a Nitro A65. Or at least get it torn down. So then make sure you put all the screws back in and you're done. If you guys have any questions, comments, I'll take all the feedback you guys can give me. I'd appreciate it all. Good or bad, doesn't really matter to me. Anywhere I can improve it is always better. If you guys want to see a specific phone that you're not sure how to tear down, or anything in particular that you want to see, just let me know. We'll be adding a lot more of these as time passes, and hopefully you can adjust the camera so you guys can see it better. Otherwise, just like, subscribe, and do what you got to do. Appreciate your time, guys. Thanks.